Good morning, Kent here in the Koi house, and I've got a bit going on today. It's Saturday the 21st of February. The temperature outside has hit double figures, yes, above 10 degrees, so it feels really mild today. The ground is so wet and soggy and the grass is minging, I hate it, but well, for me, I think February and the second half of January has been absolutely biblical in terms of rainfall. Wow, I went to the gym last night, Friday. Well, I say last night, it was about 4 o'clock. It absolutely bucketed it down. I couldn't see out the window. The gym car park was absolutely flooding. It's just been absolutely crazy in the UK, February and much of January. I think it just seems like we've had rain every day. It's been absolutely crazy. Anyway, I need a shave and an haircut, but that's going to wait for today, because today I've got some news. I'm a little bit excited. I had an opportunity come up on a Telegram group. Someone popped in and got an Remora i9. The inverter model, and they're selling it after 6 months because they've had an opportunity to buy another one and put on their pond and try and get some money back from this air source heat pump. And have you know, you might not know, but my air source heat pump that's round the back there failed again. It failed again last year. It's been absolutely shit actually since I got it, I've got to admit. I managed last year, I got it repaired for £100. And then in autumn it lasted the end of summer into autumn, and I noticed it weren't throwing out any heat again and holding and keeping a temperature, so it failed. So I'm in that land of, what do? Do I get it repaired again for another £100 for it to not last again? And then this came up and I was like, oh, am I going to risk spending £1,000? So anyway, contacted the person, and the person was absolutely great. They're in the Telegram groups anyway, so the risk is minimal. I got talking to them, got the history of the air source heat pump, why they're selling it, blah 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 blah. So I thought, you know what, I weighed it up, wanted £1,000. They're normally £1,750. It's 6 months old. They've emailed me the invoice where they bought it from. They bought it from is it ACS? So it's still under warranty. So they bought it in, I think, September 2025. Showed me videos of it working and so on and so forth. So I had some conflab with them. I committed to buy, and they even delivered it for me. They said if you pay the asking price, they'll deliver it, instead of me going to pick it up. So the delivery, they lived in Liverpool, so I agreed. They came down 2 days later. Had a chat for an hour with them, and here it is. So less of that waffling. It's my mission now to fit it. So what they've done was they cut the pipes. I've had to think about the bypass and stuff like that, which for me is not too much of an issue, but having weighed it all up, let me show you the unit. There it is. Nice unit, nicely in the green, so it's still pressured. It's got the Wi-Fi kit, it's got the plug on it, it's got the, I'd imagine, little breaker, it looks like. And it's absolutely in mint condition. I've got to admit, it looks an absolute solid unit. It's not been hammered either. Yeah, so having weighed it all up, I thought, right, what I'm going to do, shall I just straight away, I was sort of like, well, just put it in place, run it in line with no bypass or anything. Easy, dead easy for me, because it's just how it is now, and just have the water out discharging over the pond and then just having it pumping in to the bottom. Then I thought, no, you know what, Keith, while you're doing it, look to, you know, do it properly. So what I was looking on online, and I've seen the bypass kit, so I bought that one, the Hydrofit, and I believe, looking at I bought that off eBay for £75 delivered. Now what I thought was, buying valves, I mean even these valves, These Cockney Koi ones, I think these are, they're like $14.99 to buy, and they're not very good. They're very stiff, they're hit and miss. I mean, this one is really stiff and snapped off. Look, that I have to get a pair of grips on to undo that. I can't. I've tried to undo the screw and loosen off, and it does not have it. It's so stiff. This one's okay, but you struggle by hand a bit. You have to give it some. That one's not bad, but I can, you know, if you're hard with your wrists and stuff, you'll struggle. So if I got 3 of them to make my own bypass, it'd be £45 just for those valves, and they're not very good. So I thought, if you buy these separate, these are 2-inch. This is a 2-inch kit. I mean, it's massive. And these are about £24.99 each. So I thought, seeing the kit on eBay, £75 delivered, I thought, you know what, just do it. And then just fit that onto this, straight on. So I'm going to mack all this up somehow. Well, I say mackle it up, connect it up with the kit on what I've got. And then I've got some 2-inch by 1.5 inch connectors. Now what I've noticed is this pressure pipe obviously isn't 2-inch, is it? So they would have gone straight onto that. That's what I was thinking. That goes straight onto there. But I've got this bypass kit now, and I thought this was 2-inch, and it's not. The external diameter is not, look. So I could clamp that down and get it on, but it does actually fit tight onto that valve there. So I could put that straight onto there. However, that would probably be hard to disconnect then, but I don't know. So I've got to play about with that today, get that set up, get the old one out. But yeah, I've got the Remora i9. I won't be able to use the Wi-Fi because I'm miles away. Well, I say miles away, I'm about 220 foot away from the greenhouse. I have got the a TP link that my son used to use, but he's hardwired now. But he had the I got him the TA 400, whatever it is, and it's Ethernet to the router, but then it's wired through the home wiring, and that was working really well. So I might try my luck with that and have it plugged into there, so hopefully the router can go through the wired TP link, through the home wiring, through all the wiring, come down the armoured cable, come into here and provide internet to here. So I've got it anyway. My son don't use it, it's sat in the house unused, so I will try it, my look at that, and then I might have internet in this area, which would then be enough just to up through that app. But I'm not holding my breath with that. The only other way to do it would be for a bridge, and I'd have to then wire it to the sort of where you have to have a sensor on the wall that transmits, like a little dish that transmits a sender that sends the internet, and it's got to be basically in sight, and I'd have to have it on the receiver on here and then come down, and then it will then provide Wi-Fi. But that's a bridge, but that's effort for what? To use the app. I don't know, just use the app on my phone where you can see what the temperature is and stuff, and play about with the settings, which is really handy to do. Now I believe this was set up at the time to keep the pond at 18 degrees. So yeah, but I'm assuming I can get to all the controls on the panel anyway, on the front. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I've got that. I bought this little tool. I saw this on eBay. I thought, well, handy little tool, because I was messing about with this and I couldn't get it off. Big grips don't fit, so I bought this. So I'm hoping that this, oh yeah, that really works well. So I'm going to have a play about with this. I've got some PTFE tape and stuff, and I'm hoping I can get this off here and do something with this, but look at the connections in this lot, really clean, because obviously when you're inheriting someone else's equipment you're a bit worried about parasites and stuff, aren't you? But this is absolutely, there's the float switch. Look, so I've just learnt something there. I can see the float switch, so below this top there looks like the flow switch is on the top, so that's probably got a little port that unscrews, because you'll have to keep that being mechanically minded, you'll have to keep that clean. So if it's not clean they can stick, so obviously that flows, if that senses if the water flow is not enough, it won't push on that paddle. Now what I can feel is, well, that's the water out, so it's actually in that position, so when the water flows it pushes the paddle that way and makes connection, so it proves this flow through it. I mean, that's not even, oh, it's on a, I see, it's on a rubber O-ring, look. So that's on a rubber O-ring there, and it just seals, just makes a joint on that nut there between the two plastics. Sometimes a bit dubious like that. I always like to use a bit of PTFE, but I'll see what I've got. So I'm hoping that I can get that old one disconnected, get that one in place at the back, and I'm just going to discharge it, put an hole through, discharge it 1.5 inches up and over through that gap there. So basically I'll have, it will just come through and probably point straight forward on an elbow, and then on a piece of pipe or something that will probably kick down or something, or just stick out. I might use this, look, something like this, and just have that on an elbow on a spray bar, and see what, and have it so I can pull that off or leave it on a spray bar, so I can either have it discharging like that or have it on a spray bar like I use that, but I don't want to create too much back pressure, so I'll have to see with that. But that's why you've got bypassers. I've got plenty of pipe, 1.5 inches about. I've got some fittings in there, but no doubt I'll be short of something. And then I've got a job I've got to do today. My HM digital 3 sensor water sensor packed up, so I'm going to put that in, because that monitors my RO unit. It monitors the inlet TDS, monitors in between the units, so I know when my resins needs changing, and then it's on the outlet, so I know if it's, I know the water TDS is normally about 150 going in, and then it's normally 0 here, and then obviously 0 on the out. And then when that number in the middle starts creeping up, I know it's time to change the resin, or also the membrane and filters and so on. So I've got to fit that. So yes, so I'm not going to film me messing about, because all you're going to see is my bum crack, probably, stuff like that. So here's the air source heat pump that's in. This is just an on and off one, it's not an inverter or anything like that. So yeah, this has failed. The compressor and everything comes on, it's in good nick, but it's just failed again. I think it's probably lost its pressure of gas, because that's what happened to it last time. It actually split on one of the copper connections on one of the welded joints, and he welded it for me. So I can only assume that because these only work really well above 5 degrees, once it gets to a low temperature it starts being overused, and it's just not been good. I mean, I've got another unit. If you look past my previous videos, you'll see me when I first bought this, and it didn't really work that well straight out the box, and then they sent me another one, and then the second one worked for a bit, for a couple of months, then I started struggling. So it's just been nothing but problems. So I only bought, it was £350 brand new off eBay, off a seller. So so far it's cost me £450 in total, and it did work last summer actually, so I've had use out of it in the last 2-3 years. So yeah, cutting my losses. and going to fit the other one. So obviously the other one will be facing lengthways, still on this grid, which is absolutely solid pallet with pumice stone all set in. It's going to sit on here, and it's going to go bypass on the back, and it's going to go straight in. Now I think what I'm going to do, I've got some of this, I will create a thermal, between the pipework and the valves, I'll create like a thermal box like that sort of thing, and then the actual bypass will be all encompassed inside to reduce heat loss on that pipework on the bypass. I could pipe straight in and put the bypass inside, but obviously with me it's hard to get to on the inside and it makes the pipework complicated, so I'm going to have the unit, bypass straight on it, and then go from there. Main pond fish in there, looking great. I've just seen them today. They'll get a little bit of food, keep them ticking over, and then I'll conclude this video and show you these fish. These are doing great. All I've been doing is manually feeding these. Nutrimare is in there, so I've just been giving them 2 of those a day, and that's it. That's it. They've had two of these already 15 minutes ago, and they're coming in and smashing that. Water temperature is just below 9 degrees. So if I can get that air source heat pump working, I'm going to gradually raise this temperature. Just keep turning up a degree every day, and then it will take probably a week or 2, and then I'll be up to maybe 18 degrees, and then that'll be, then by the end of March hopefully I'll be getting up to 22 degrees, and then into summer maintaining 22, 23, 24. Yeah, the fish are looking great. This is having a good clean. That's been boiling now for a good 20 minutes since I've been in here, so that's going to get dumped. There's been not a lot of debris, I don't think. I think the last time I cleaned this out thoroughly like that was at least 2-3 weeks ago, so it's ready for a good dump, ready for the bottom drain to get a good purge, and then I'll be playing about with this, well, the air source heat pump. So what I probably will do, I will just cut at the end of this where I am now, cut a bit in to show you where I am at the end of my playing about session. You see me at the start. I'm not going to show you moving that out, putting that one in place, connecting the air source heat pump on the back, but I will show you once I've done that, so I'll give you an update of where I am. And then one day you'll obviously see that running. Fingers crossed well. Have a little coffee now.